Turn around for that pup. Are you crying yet? Oh my goodness. We were just discussing in that commercial break the big, beautiful snowflakes last night. Of course, it made for a very dangerous morning on the roadways.
Yeah, there for a while we did, it was at least a few hours or so where we actually had a really nice snow come in, and it accumulated, especially west of I-35. Oklahoma City, we've got some accumulation, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it eventually melted pretty quickly. The problem was with all that melting, it refroze early this morning, late last night. But here's all the snow that we had yesterday, and again, a lot of this falling out in western Oklahoma, and eventually it made its way east across the state. And our storm trackers, they were out. We have Jeremy Carter, Marty Logan, Valenamy Castor, and there were a lot of accidents also. Again, this morning, last night there wasn't quite as many, but we obviously had a couple people just driving too fast on that snow, think they can go fast, and turns out they can't. Or you can, you're just gonna have some problems. And it's what we had this morning, lots of problems. It was hard to see, this was black ice, so, you know, cars get going, and then eventually, you have to pause a little bit, you have to get on the brakes, and then you end up having a car crash. And we had multiple cars that ended up in the same crash, and then we just had so many accidents. Again, over 100 accidents earlier this morning. We even had a fatality. There was also a horse trailer, and some of those horses didn't even make it. So very awful start to the morning. Unfortunately, we've come a long way since then. Let's go ahead and go to Links 1 and kind of show you what happened as far as snow totals are concerned. We ended up with about a half of an inch here in Oklahoma City, officially at the airport. But again, the farther west you went, we had anywhere from 1 to 1.5 to as much as around 2 inches of snow. Now, looking at just kind of what we've had over the past 4 days. So starting Monday, again, we had all of that rain. Well, now we're looking at rain, and this also includes the melted snow. So 0.8 inches of precipitation here in Oklahoma City. Where Idabel, we've had a little over 5.5 inches. 1.05 in Midwest City, a little over 1.5 inches in Purcell, 1.2 down there in Byers. Where does that put us for the month of February? Well, that's it for snow. The monthly normal is 1.8. And as far as rain is concerned, 0.82. So we're a little bit below average for today. Now, the drought monitor, this does not include everything that we've seen this week. Not so bad in far eastern Oklahoma, but we still have very much a drought in parts of really the rest of the state, an extreme drought in parts of northern Oklahoma. This is our Norman regional camera, part of our Lucky Star SkyCam network. Blue skies is beautiful. It's a little chilly. We're at 44 degrees. We've got that north-northwest wind at 15 miles an hour. Temperatures range from the mid-40s to the low 50s across north. Lots of low 50s in the southwest with the north wind between about 10 to as much as around 40 miles an hour in the western half of the state. So very windy out there, and we've got this trough just kind of moving off to the south and east. Well, eventually we're going to get this next storm to move in. This is storm number 2 that we've been talking about. This one looks very similar to yesterday. I think it's going to arrive, at least for Oklahoma City, probably sometime around midnight, if not a little bit after, and that's going to bring us another chance of some light snow. This weekend looks drier. It looks seasonal. Temperatures in the low to potentially the upper 50s in parts of the state. But storm number 3 on the heels of that arrives Monday into Tuesday with rain and storms likely. Behind that, we get a little bit of a break before that next storm arrives. Right now, the timing looks to be more so on Thursday, and it's going to be cold enough that we could see a light snow mixed with that as well. Behind that, it does look a little bit more chilly with temperatures dropping back down into the 40s and eventually the 30s. So how does it look for the rest of today? Well, eventually we will see increasing cloud cover, and this particular model is showing that, yeah, probably around midnight, that's when that light snow will move in. But here's the thing, I think as early as this evening, probably 7 to 8 o'clock, we're going to see some light snow rain mix in the far west, and eventually everything is going to build off to the east. So it's not picking up quite as heavily on this particular model, but I do expect it to be there. And eventually by tomorrow afternoon, we're still going to have some rain and snow in parts of southeast Oklahoma, and that's where we could end up with totals as high as around maybe a few inches or more. Today, though, shooting for a high of about 52 degrees in Oklahoma City, low 50s across north, kind of the same thing across the south. And then this evening, rain and snow is a lot more likely out to the west, light snow in the northwest. Overnight and into tomorrow morning, that's going to expand in coverage, move across the central part of the state. And yes, we are expecting some accumulation out of that. Tonight, temperatures drop down to about 30 degrees, so we're going to have to watch that traffic tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to end up in the low 40s. Tomorrow afternoon, there's still going to be a likely chance of some snow in the southeast. By Saturday, we start to clear up, temperatures about 50 degrees. So how much snow are we looking at this time around? Well, again, probably around an inch or so in central Oklahoma. We could see higher totals in the far south and east, and it's not going to stick around for very long. But again, we're going to melt. It's going to get pretty cold tonight, so we could see some refreezing in the morning. And then after that, this weekend looks dry. Lisa, back to you.